What is going on, you guys? It is your boy Cyrus Obsidian here at Obsidian Games, here to bring you another episode of Local Diaries. So let us dive right in. So Battles of Legend Monster Mayhem is legal for today, and we were trying to finish out Orcus, Punk, and Necros for today, but those are just going to have to wait for a little bit since we don't have the cards that we're needing to finish out the deck quite yet, but we're going to try and work on getting those tonight and throughout the week to hopefully play them in the future, because I think these three decks have mad potential in the meta as either being meta competitors or great rogue options to play. But as for tonight, we are going back to a deck that we did play long ago in Blue Eyes Invoked. Seen a lot of Blue Eyes players around, and picking up the Invocation engine from the Rarity collection and high rarity. I really want to showcase that to you guys, so that way you can see how this deck can fare as a budget option into the meta, but also a great contender just for even locals. So let me show you the deck profile and then we'll head out. All right, so let me show you our updated version of Blue Eyes Invoked. Starting out with the Blue Eyes engine, we are playing 2 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon, 1 copy of Blue Eyes Jet, 3 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue, and 3 Maidens of White for our monsters. For our spells and traps, we are playing 3 Wishes, 1 Roar, 1 Mausoleum, 1 Majesty, and 1 True Light. So I think this is just like pretty standard engine for the deck. If you play it pure, you might have 1 more Mausoleum, some Kaiser Seahorse. But I think for just whether you're playing Blue Eyes Primite, Blue Eyes Invoked, in my case, it really depends on what ratios you're wanting. And as for the Invoked engine, we are playing 3 copies of Aleister the Invoker, 2 copies of Invocation, the Altar and QCR, and then 2 copies of Magical Meltdown. So I decided to up Invocation and drop Meltdown down to 2 and 2, just that way the higher odds of baiting out the negate, baiting out their hand traps with Aleister, but also still seeing Invocation was what I wanted to do. And we're gonna test how well it works, because I know most of the times when you play Invoked as an engine, it's 3, 2, and 3. But we decided to drop Meltdown to 2, so that way we can still keep Mausoleum very much alive without hurting consistency and being able to just recur resources in getting Aleister. And also, once we see Meltdown, we don't want to see it in later game states. We want to be able to keep Mausoleum, so that's the reason why. And then as for the rest of this, it is hand traps. We are playing 3 copies of Effect Veiler, 3 copies of Nibiru the Primal Being, 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 3 copies of Milcharming Fulos, 3 Droll, 1 Magnamut, 1 Druid's Worm, and 1 Triple Tactics Talent. So I think the amount of non-engine that you can play is insane. So we decided to play these as our hand traps. We used to play Ghost Ogre, but I feel like Ghost Ogre isn't as great right now. Over the Veilers, I just like that Veiler is searchable in the deck and also is a way to get into your combo as well. So that's why we're keeping it at 3. You could alternatively drop Veiler down to 2 and I think play 2 Ghost Spell. I think Ghost Spell goes really great into this meta right now. But that is it for our main deck. For our extra deck, for the Blue Eyes stuff, we are playing 1 Tyrant and 1 Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate. I think these are just really good. They're standards. Tyrant really helps close out games, which is awesome. You definitely could up it, but since my extra deck is really tight, we only play the 1 copy. And then for the Invoked engine, we are playing 2 copies of Invoked Mechaba with 1 Invoked Raijin. I think because Droll and Fulos are seeing a lot of play in the main, Raijin's going to be really great. And as you see, we are also playing it as well. So being able to, Invocation into Raijin just to have a Book of Moon, I think is really great. And Mechaba is Mechaba, so there's no complaining there about Mechaba. For our Synchros, we are playing 2 Blue Eye Spirit, 1 Lightstorm Dragon, 1 Chaos Angel, 1 Crimson, 1 Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit, and 1 Crystal Clear Wing over Synchro Dragon. So I do want to swap this out for the Stardust Cipher, which I know just got reprinted in Monster Mayhem. I unfortunately didn't pull one, so we're going to have to see if we can get one. But I still think the Crystal Clearwing Oversynchro is really great because it is a, you know, card effect negation. So it is an Omni negate, you know, negate and destroy it. And if it was a monster, it gains the attack, which is really good. You know, it makes it just a big tower on the opponent's turn. And Chaos Angel's Chaos Angel with the Bastiles and Aleister, so I mean it's insane. And then for our links, we play two Spirit with 1 Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Sphere to round out our extra deck. For the side deck, we are playing 3 copies of Mulcharmy Perulia, and 3 Artifact Lancias for hand traps. I think these are just really self-explanatory, playing into the engines that, you know, or the decks that these die to. And then we do play a little bit of board breaking with 3 copies of Droplet, 2 Lightning Storm, and 1 Duster. I think these are just really great, being able to help us like break boards, and since we can, our hands like do matter, but not as much, so we can sacrifice some cards to break some boards with the Droplet. And then last but not least, for going first, we are playing 3 copies of Solemn Strike. I think Solemn Strike is just really awesome for the deck, being able to just, you know, stop something, negating a special summon, a monster activation, or monster effect activation, my bad, is just really critical, especially in a meta where that happens a lot. And sometimes that can be a turn ender. But that's it. Let's see how well we can utilize both our graveyard and our opponent's graveyard to win today.
All right, so here we are at Duke City. Let me flip the camera around. So as you can see, this is our Yu-Gi-Oh! And going into rounds 1 and 2, round 1 we went to time, so just really didn't have a transition point to record. But round 1 we play against Dragon Rulers. And we played a little bit nice with the Dragon Rule player, just minimal interruptions as much as possible with our hand traps, because we did have a ton. Game 1, we opened first, we were able to establish our board, and just you couldn't break through it. Game 2, we fooed, and we drew straight engine. We did not draw hand traps. Drew turn, drew draw. Draw wouldn't have mattered anyways, but you know that's what happens. I couldn't break over the tower that they were able to establish, so we go game 3. Game 3, we opened the Aleister engine. My gosh. And we're able to like establish the board as minimally as possible, and we just controlled it on that. He made 1 misplay in his turn, and we owed the kid from there. Round 2, we play against White Force. He wins the die roll, goes first. We were able to draw him, but he had the answers to me on my turns. We weren't able to like break his board. We go game 2. We tried to establish a board, and it was okay. We should have kept the draw in hand and discarded the Magnamut. Had we kept the draw, we probably would have been in a better situation. But since we discarded it rather than Mag, we kind of threw the game ourselves. We were hoping and praying to top deck into Aleister or Magical Meltdown, so that way we can combo off and go through our extensions, but we didn't. So we are 1-1 right now. We still got 2 more rounds to go, so there's hope for us yet. All right, so round 3, we play against Blue Eyes, so a little bit of a mirror match here. He wins the die roll, so he goes first. We had the Bastiles, so we were able to get rid of his Blue Eyes from grave, and then he passed to me. He couldn't do anything, so we were able, and honestly, we weren't able to do much either on the turn 2. So we just set up a minimal board, but he just scooped, said let's go game 2. So we go game 2, he sets up his full board under Fuelos, and I had a crap ton of cards. Thankfully, I baited a Nib, I baited a Bastille, another Bastille, and we were able to just kind of like bait through, so that way our hand size was small enough to where we didn't have to discard anything at end phase, which was great. We played through as much as we could, and it was a little bit of a grind because, you know, he ended up Cipher, Tyrant, and one other, the Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit, and so like it was just like really bit of a slugfest. But like in the end, I was able to squeeze my way through baiting some of his interactions out. And in baiting some of those interactions out, we were able to just like capitalize and just overtake, which our version is a little glass cannon just because our extra deck is so tight. So we don't have like a lot of things to get around big beaters. Nakaba's our best bet. I am definitely thinking of putting Agoides into the deck, just because Agoides is going to be like the big way to out some of those big towers. Yeah. we were able to take it, so we're 2-1 with 1 round left. The deck is doing pretty good, and honestly, I just love saying normal summon Aleister because it doesn't get any better than that. Yeesh. Round 4, last and final round. Spoiler, we placed 9th out of 15. So game 1, he wins the die roll. He goes first. We droll him. It was just enough to stop him, but it wasn't enough. Comes back to me, he drills me, and we're not able to play through, so it's a little bit back and forth. But he had more advantage with the Crystron engine, just being able to push, and he just nuked my entire board, hand looped my hand, and I was like, well, this is great. We're on top deck, and we top deck like Nib or something, and I'm like, oh, that's great, that's useless. So we go game 2. Game 2, we drew unplayable. Wonderful. We drew like all one-ofs, a Nibiru, and something else. I don't remember what it was. This was unimpactful. Blue Eyes, that's what we drew into. Blue Eyes. Yeah. Now, after looking at the ratios, we're like, we play so many 3-ofs. Why is it we can't see any of those? But it is what it is. He got me in the grind, or Crystron was able to just take full advantage, swung over my Nib token, or my Nib, and it was just enough to clear my board and we take the L. But had fun playing the deck. Like I said, normal summon Aleister always just sounds good and feels good, so we'll keep workshopping it because I think this deck has just some fun potential with it. But that's it for this Local Diaries, everyone. Let me know what you think of the deck. Like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Let me know what you would like to see on this channel. But other than that, I'll pass it over to you.